was born 1943 in a little town in Lower Austria, province of Austria, at the border to, in those years, of Czechoslovakia. I was growing up in this little town of not more than 5,000 people, living there until my age of 10. I had a little sister. She is younger than me, 1.5 years. We had on one side a very nice time, very beautiful time, much being in the nature and playing around with sand and water and the winds and the trees and the flowers and the grass and the bees and the horses. We had horses, we had cows. And after the age of 10, I was brought up to a monastery for a singing corps, singing boys corps. I was very homesick then because it was not far from my hometown, but 30 kilometers. Then I had to choose, I had my free will to choose to stay in this little town or to go to the capital of Austria, to Vienna, and I decided to go to Vienna, and I started kind of a new life in the age of 16, 17, 18, when I met jazz music, modern jazz, modern literature, like literature of Beckett, Samuel Beckett, or I like very much Albert Camus. I already had made the experience of the new cinema of France, the new cinema of Italy, of Poland, of Czechoslovakia, also beginning the spring, Czechoslovakian springtime, and started to try to work on 8mm films, scratching, painting, doing single shot exposures and whatever you could do with film material. And in Austria in those years, nobody was interested in experimenting with film. Yeah, it doesn't exist in the mind of people. There exists already upcoming television and traditional film industry of entertainments and things like that. But this was not mine. I wanted to study philosophy and psychology, but when actually I met the Academy of Fine Arts, was there only for 3 semesters at the film school, at the film class, but because of they were teaching more or less the traditional way of lighting, of using the camera. I had already seen the New American Cinema in the upcoming founded Austrian Film Museum in Vienna. And then more or less I experimented with different genres, also with the big genre, the genre of the big cinema, fiction film. I wanted to do with some friends big films, but there was no source, no money, no possibility in Austria to find the interest, public interest, or even the interest of the film industry. And finally, in the middle of the 70s, I met a nice guy. He became a good friend of mine, a Canadian photographer. He came from Paris to Vienna, and we did a film which soon became a classic in Austrian film history. It's called Slow Summer. It was more or less an autobiographical film. And to get financed a documentary, a long documentary, it was then about 5 hours, finished in 1982. It's called Heaven and Earth. And it was done with the peasants living in the mountains, in the Austrian mountains. It took about 3 years to do it and to edit it. A young guy who helped me with the sound recording. And this film became internationally very well known, and a lot of applause and positive reactions, positive feedbacks, because I intended to make it more personal and more subjective, or let's say bending between object and subject. What I know, what we say, this is our knowledge, it's very little. But what I do not know is the world. And it's a question about if we have a free will. I have the impression that the life of my ancestors, the life of mankind, is also stored in my cells, in my, I call it my matrix, my mental matrix. Yeah? All the experiences I made, I had consciously and more subconsciously are stored on my matrix, and there is no way out than to meet each other and to be reflected by the other. So the world I experience is a kind of a mirror of myself. I could say that what I see shows to me who am I, how I look at the world. That's me. So I'm constant in exchange with the world. I have not only the camera looking out, I have a second camera watching myself simultaneously. And this is the interesting thing, to come closer to what is the truth, or what is reality, or what is the essence of this we call it life. If we are lucky, can be focused, and can be focused before we take up a camera, because the camera is, as you said, it precisely one part of us, could be one part of us, and a camera like his camera is executing what is on the table before he pushes on. And we have not much time. Okay. There's another story.
do you travel to Iran? And what's your opinion about Iranian cinema?
I don't know. it's metaphysics. I cannot answer that. Why I'm here, yeah? I don't know. I have to be here. I really have a deep feeling and need to be here. Yes, it's a need. It's a need. Whenever I'm here, I feel it very strongly.